In 1931, a girl was kidnapped from a marina. I'm sorry, that's wrong. A girl named Marina was kidnapped from her home, and it wasn't 1931. There's a movie called Marina that was made in 1931, but it wasn't about a kidnapping. I'm sorry. The movie was called Marius, not Marina. I always think it's called Marina because that's also a name that means the ocean. But the movie is about a man named Marius. The girl named Marina made a YouTube video in 2017. The video is called Date Outfit Ideas. It has over 40 million views. 40 million people who need to know what to wear for their next date. Except that's not what they're looking for. 40 million people are examining the splotchy bruises on Marina's arms. They're counting her glances off camera. They're listening for whispered demands. They're looking for a kidnapping, even though Marina is at home. As if a person can be kidnapped from her life and forced back into her life, which sounds impossible, but watch the video. You'll see someone who seems like a bad actor playing herself. You'll see a life not lived, but possessed, not by a ghost, but by the person who should be living it, who is called Marina. She also writes poetry. Do the 40 million people know that? She writes intense, meaningless generalities and abstractions because that's what poetry is. Like a language possessed by its own words. So meaningless that you wonder if anything has ever had meaning. I'm sorry, it's not 40 million people. It's 40 million views. So it's a million people watching over and over again, looking for something they already need to be there. Like Marius's father looking for his son in a movie called Marius, about a man named Marius. Sorry, I'm wrong. The movie isn't about Marius. The movie is about a girl named Fanny who loves Marius, but Marius is named for the ocean and must go to the ocean. So Fanny sneaks him out the window so he can sail away forever. And then she goes downstairs to talk to his father so he won't know that Marius is leaving. The father thinks they are getting married, so he talks to her about the wedding they will never have and about where they will never live and the life they will never have together, while Fanny is smiling and nodding her head and answering his questions until finally, she hears "Bon voyage," and she knows that Marius is free and that she is alone, and she faints. And the father lays her on the bed she will never share with Marius and calls for help from his son who isn't there. And the movie ends. And somehow we know what she's going through, even though we may not remember the specific lie we possessed so completely. And somehow we know what it means to be Marina, even though we don't know who kidnapped us. And we swear to the police that everything is fine, that our car is in the driveway, and here are the keys, that a couch is waiting in a warm living room. I'm sorry, officer. I don't know who called you or why. I don't know what they saw in her eyes. Yes, that's white eyeliner and eyeshadow with glitter and reflex gold over and under her eye, and of course mascara, but those are still her eyes. You can see that she's seeing you from within her own life. And if you still see her as a hostage, it's because you're imagining a home she doesn't have. Officer, There are no captors. There is only the cage. And she will make it beautiful. And if she is to be alone, she will free everyone she loves, and she will smile until her mouth drops its gloss, and every shade of lipstick turns to blood beneath the bed, because this is her only face and her only camera, and her editor isn't very good, so she only has one chance, and whatever she does, and whatever mistakes she makes, is what she is, and it's the only thing she is, and everything else that she could be is lost inside the jump cuts that bother and obsess a million people. Like the jump cuts in a movie called Breathless, made in 1960. Cuts in time that can make it hard to catch your breath. The realism of too much happening too quickly that you don't see. A reaction to movies like Marius, whose grand gestures and emotional score were thought of as cinematic fakery by new wave realists who didn't realize how real it is to be fake. Like the girl named Marina, who repeats herself in odd ways, stares off camera, interrupts herself, paints herself, talks to a million people she doesn't know, and makes a heart shape with her fingers, while her editor adds some tinkly music, distracting and possibly too loud, and her strange, jerky motions are called dancing by a voice you can almost hear off camera as she falls onto the bed.